Hey everybody, it's Jenny. I did a video the other day talking about how Robyn has still, over a decade long, been looking for a job. The elusive job that keeps getting away. Now, today's video is a little bit different. It's a little bit more of the details of, let's say, the family's spending habits, the family struggle to have money, and Robyn's contribution to that, if you will.
Oh, goody goody.
Okay, I have a gazillion clips here, so I hope there's some cohesiveness to this video. If there's not, grant me some grace. There's so many examples. All right, let's get started. Okay, our first example is Cody taking trips. We hear early on in the series, in season 1, that Cody says, every year Janelle and I try to take 2 trips away. I'm assuming he does that with all his wives. But in this clip, he just referred to Janelle, and Janelle is in the kitchen. Maybe that's why. So what are the trips that they do? In typical Janelle form, she's like, I just want to stay in a tent, out in the country somewhere, make a campfire. Zero money. Zero money. So Janelle.
We're going to go on a road trip overnight, go down to Arches National Park and stay the night and hike around. And so it's kind of fun to go away and just sort of reconnect like that.
God bless her. Can we compare that to the fact that Robyn had a 11-day honeymoon?
We struggle with the fact that she gets a bigger, better wedding reception or bigger, better honeymoon.
For me, I really don't think he would take 11 days. Our honeymoon was like 3 days.
You know, he and I just celebrated our 20th anniversary. We're celebrating 20 years together and I get 3 days. That makes me just not feel as important. Like I wasn't as important for him to take that much time for me.
After we got back from the honeymoon, Christine on the phone with me, she was in tears and she just said, Robyn, just tell me you needed this. And I said, I did, Christine, I really did. I needed this.
I needed what I needed when I needed it.
So we just road tripped. That seems to be this common theme, and that's kind of like, ugh. But that's what we did. We took 4 or 5 days and just drove back to Wyoming and just stopped wherever we wanted.
That's kind of how Cody is usually. He just kind of flies by the seat of his pants. I think that's probably how all of our honeymoons were.
And then later on said she needed another honeymoon because TLC was there for part of her honeymoon, so that kind of ruined it. So she needed to go on another trip. Okay, just saying. Now, when Robyn needs something, Robyn buys it. Thus the problem with her coming into the family with $35,000 worth of debt. She doesn't understand a budget. She doesn't understand saving.
He talks a lot about saving money and not spending money and stuff like that.
What is he talking about? I don't understand it.
And then we see a clip with Janelle where they're going camping. And Cody, who always on the show looks like the spender of the group until Robyn joined, doesn't want to use the sleeping bags that he has for camping because the zipper's broken.
These are sleeping bags.
Because they don't zip up anymore.
We're buying 2 sleeping bags on the way.
No.
Yeah, I'm not taking those. I'm not
spending the money. Sorry.
I don't feel like sleep.
No, we'll lay them flat. I have a sheet, blankets.
He wants to literally stop and buy new sleeping bags because he's too embarrassed by it all. Like, who's going to be in your tent, Cody? Who cares? This is early on. This is like season 1. This is when they're talking about how we can't make ends meet. But let's go buy a thing to add more junk to our house when we really don't need it. How often do they even use their sleeping bags? Probably not too often. And Robyn sees Cody as a saver. This gives us a little perspective on her spending.
Cody wants to solve everything really quick. Let's just go to the store and buy it. And I'm like, no, I think we can make do with what we have on hand. So it's been a constant source of friction in our marriage.
A constant sort of friction. This is a behavior pattern for Cody, the man who Robyn sees as frugal.
When Robyn came up and she was looking for work and didn't have work, there was a little bit of an adjustment there from my perspective, like, okay, so it's got to go even further now. The resources that we have, which are somewhat finite, had to go even further.
So Janelle's concerned. Janelle's the one that does the books. She's like, We're barely making ends meet here, and you want to bring in another wife and who has 3 kids and will probably have more kids? How? It's a legit question. Now, this clip I also had in the other video. And it's so funny because Janelle's talking about Robyn trying to find a job. And when she said it's not for her lack of trying, somebody wrote in the comments down below that they believe that that actually was a dig that Janelle was throwing it to Robyn because she felt like she wasn't really trying. I mean, she couldn't have been trying. She never found a job. She left her home and was living there for about a year before they got married. No job. Took a whole year. Still couldn't find a job.
But I think that right off, we established that Robyn coming into the family was huge for me because I was so stressed out. When Robyn came, she took over some of the responsibility, and it was really helpful for me.
I just want to analyze that a little bit. Okay, so here we have Christine, who's working part-time nights. During the day, she's watching all the children and she's homeschooling them. She's also the one that does the shopping and she's the one who does all the cooking. Now, the wives do their own evening cooking for their families, but not always. Sometimes, they'll take turns and the whole family will get together. But she's feeding them during the day. Okay, that's a lot of work. So it almost feels like a little bit of a dig. I don't think it was, but in hindsight, it sure feels like one. Where she says, it was nice for Robyn to come and, take over a little bit of the watching the kids' responsibilities. She didn't financially contribute at all. She didn't do the grocery shopping. Well, there's no way Christine would have trusted her with grocery shopping. Christine is a fanatic about grocery shopping.
My goal was 300. I'm at exactly 300 even. That was my goal. I have serious shopping skills. I have coupons now. I didn't want those.
My favorite part was the very end there. Oh, I have coupons. She was very good at stretching $1. I just don't understand how a whole year could go by and Robyn can't find a part-time job. I don't think she wanted anybody to watch her children because she never had anybody watch her children, even though this is supposed to be a perk of polygamy. She wants to be the wife that's like, hey, look, I'm making all this money. I'm contributing financially to help you guys out.
At the same time, there's this part of me that just wants to go and do some really great job and contribute vast amounts of money and go, here, look, see what I did. I'm valuable to this family.
But she doesn't even get a part-time job. Here's McKelty in her Patreon talking about the wives and the working situation at the beginning of time when Robyn first came in.
So Mary had a job. It was part-time, if I remember right. My mom had a job. It was part-time. Dad had a full-time. Janelle had a full-time. And then before Robyn joined the family, she did have a full-time. When she moved, she didn't have a job yet. And then she moved again. So she still didn't have a job. But what they basically did was every time the family got a paycheck, regardless of what the paycheck was, as far as I remember, it kind of went into a pot. And then out of the pot, you took your mortgage, you took your utilities, you took your internet, you took your grocery budget for the month, you took your clothing budget for the month, and then whatever was left was just basically left there for emergencies, bills that came up that they didn't know about. But as far as I remember, it just kind of everything went into the pot, regardless of who made what, as far as I remember. I could be wrong though. But she did have the most mouths to feed, and then Truly came, and then it was even between her and my mom. They both had 6, but it was definitely
different. The excuses they make for this woman. Oh, well, she couldn't work at first because she just moved here. Okay. And then she moved again. She had to start off looking again. She lived there for a year. Honest to goodness, I tell my kids when they come home for the summer, you've got a week. Get a job for this summer. Get a job. You're not just sitting around watching TV all summer. Somehow they always manage to find something. There's always jobs out there. It's such a lie. She couldn't find a job for a year. Can I just say, though, there's a little bit of a discrepancy. I did hear, Mary did say once that she also helped homeschool the kids. So I guess that might explain this a little bit, but Christine, all of them agreed, had the onus of responsibility in terms of raising the kids and being there and schooling them and taking care of them. And she was the one that took them to all their doctor's appointments, etc., etc. I'm a little unclear what Mary's role was because both of them were working part-time, but The kids never said, oh, Mary was a big part. We know Mary watched the kids sometime. I mean, Christine had to go to the grocery store and buy groceries at some point, and she would have to run to a doctor's appointment with a given kid. But nobody ever said, oh, there was a regular routine where Mary would always watch on certain days. I don't know. And in the evenings when they all went to their own quarters, Mary only had one child. Talk about relaxing. I'm just really curious. This is the first time I've really thought about it. It was kind of putting these clips together, and I'm like, why isn't Mary doing a little bit more? Either working full-time or taking more off of Christine's plate. Because if Christine had to do all that and work part-time nights to the point that she couldn't even put her child down to sleep, and Cody refused to put it down because he said he was with another wife, and Mary never volunteered to come over and put her kids down. Like, I just don't understand. I don't know how Christine got the short end of the stick. I know she enjoyed the kids, and I know she enjoys cooking. I don't think she enjoyed whatever that job was that was during the nights. And she had to have been exhausted when she woke up in the morning. Well, finally, child number 6, Truly, she quit that job. She quit the job because she couldn't do it anymore, and she was in a severe depression, postpartum depression, after Truly was born. She couldn't work. She needed to be home more. Because let's face it, you're working nights. In the morning, people are starting to get up. You gotta sleep. Because during the day now, you're watching all the kids who are getting up. I don't even know how she did it, quite frankly. So she had to quit that job. And at the same time, now we're bringing Robyn into the family with no job. So 4 mouths to feed and a full-time rent on top of it. Plus any more Ed Hardy shirts that she wants to buy. Okay, moving on.
Currently, Robyn and Christine are staying at home, and my income covers them. Sometimes Janelle will throw in for groceries and stuff.
Well, he certainly is full of himself.
Okay, Cody says, Christine and Robyn are now at home, so my income covers them. Whereas Janelle covers Janelle. This kind of doesn't make sense right here. Because Mary admitted she doesn't make very much money at all working part-time. And Cody apparently works full-time, so he and Janelle cover the bills. Now, if I were a betting woman, I would say it's 75-25. Janelle covering the expenses, which is why she's always so freaked out and nervous about making the money stretch every month. That's a lot of stress on her shoulders because she is the primary breadwinner. And she is the primary breadwinner. We know that. Everybody has admitted that. She definitely made more money than Cody. It's just hard to believe Cody made much of anything.
You know, Janelle and Cody make the bulk of the money. They just do. My job doesn't pay as much, and so I've got some of the smaller bills, and I just know to take care of that.
Okay, again, the finance is very confusing.
So Mary and Christine and Robyn kind of have their own bills, and then Cody and I coordinate getting the mortgage and the utilities paid, and then we all sort of work together as a family to pay the rest of it.
Mary, Christine, and Robyn all have their own bills to pay. But Christine and Robyn are not working. Mary is. So then Janelle and Cody are paying the mortgages, and they also cover the utilities. So I guess they are covering their food, which is really interesting because here's this next part. Now we hear later on that Mary talks about, or maybe it was in the book, where Mary talks about how the money she gets for food only needs to cover her and her child. Therefore, they can get fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, nothing packaged, nothing processed. They can eat really well and healthy in their house. It just doesn't seem right. So then Christine and Janelle talk about how they pool their money together and shop for all of the rest of the kids and buy things in bulk, and then they put it in the storage unit.
Christine and I are working a lot together. I mean, it's she and I putting our heads together are like, well, how many cases should we buy of tuna fish? Or
We buy 5 50-pound bags of flour at a time, put them in the food storage room, and get the flour when we need it. You know, and we buy oats by the bulk, by 50-pound bags. We stock.
we
up
don't
the
buy
food
just
storage
one
room.
case, we buy 4 cases.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's a conversation that we're having constantly that isn't so much involving these two because their situations are different. So
Now, nobody else really needs a storage unit, but of course they're welcome to go to it. And then Mary admits, oh yeah, I take stuff out of there. Mary, you don't need to take anything out of there.
Like, I just realized the other day I was out of sugar. I'm like, you're kidding me, I'm out of sugar? I've been out of sugar for months, you're kidding me.
I mean, it's not like we have some community pantry. It is. Everybody's free to take from it. But Christine and I
And
are
we
kind
do. I take flour
Yeah.
from it all the time. In fact, I'm the one who took all the sugar.
This is no time to be laughing.
You have the same amount of money they do, but you only have one child. You're eating like queens over there. Stop taking flour and sugar out of the pantry. But that's their ideal of working together. I just don't think working together works when you have people who are selfish. Sorry. And that's the way I see it. And now we're adding Robyn to the mix. Oh, Lordy. It seems very clear that Cody had his money too. They don't mention that here, but clearly Cody had his money too, because the kids go to him.
Kid comes up to me and says, Dad, I need new shoes. I go and get him new shoes.
Santa Daddy.
And I'm like, look, I have a budget, and this week, it's not your turn. I'm not getting anything for you this week.
That must be when she comes to me. She's been working that, I'm pretty sure.
I'll give it to you. I'm not going to say no.
I have one child. She gets whatever she wants whenever she wants it.
Wow.
That is such a lie.
That's one thing I gotta say is Mariah doesn't pester me nearly like the other kids do.
Boy, he just keeps positioning himself that he's the king. And no wonder he has all these fancy cars and motorcycles and toys galore. He's getting a portion of money as well. And he's not paying anything to the kids. The wives are handling all the needs of the kids. His money's for himself. It's very interesting. Oh, what I would do to see the books. The books, the books, the books. Okay, we're getting off topic. We're supposed to be talking about Robyn. Well, you've made it halfway through this video, and I'm glad you're still here. Do me a favor, help support this small channel just by hitting like and subscribe. And if you can leave a comment down below too, I'd love it. But this is all foundational work on the finances of the family. Contributes to how it relates to Robyn. So they're getting ready to go for their trip, and it's just a simple camping trip for 2 people. But there's not enough room to pack just the blankets and the tent and the stuff they need. Why? Because Cody's driving a very unreasonable 2-door convertible car with a small trunk, while he has 4 wives and 16 kids. If he had a normal car, it would fit Cody.
Preach.
If he had a van, it would fit Cody.
Preach.
If he had a bus, it would fit Cody.
Preach.
No. Cody won't drive around in anything but a sports car and a motorcycle. He's the worst. But Robyn here is helping financially with the family. I mean, she still can't find a job, but she's seeing to it that the children that aren't hers aren't eating too much of her food.
Isabel, you guys, this should be a snack, not a meal.
It's supposed to be a snack, not a meal.
I've always known what was going on with the finances in my life.
Here's a golden piece of film coming up here. Here's Robyn explaining. Now, mind you, she went from living with mom to getting married because she got pregnant before she ever got married. So she got married really quick and then moved in with her husband, and she never worked. He worked. She stayed home. There's a pattern here. Get pregnant, don't get a job. We'll talk about that later. So all those years she was with the kids and she wasn't working. She was spending so much money that finally her husband divorced her because he couldn't take it anymore, unable to curb her spending habits. He divorced her. What does she do? She moves into this really nice house that her stepdad in polygamy had as a rental in St. George, Utah. How much do you think he was charging her? Anything? She does get a job. From what I heard, it was a receptionist at a nursing home. Never was told if it was full-time or part-time. So that would lead me to believe it was part-time, because if it was full-time, she would have let us know it was full-time.
Totally.
Okay. By the time she moved into that place in St. George, Utah, she already had eyes on Cody. So she got a job, but she already saw her meal ticket out. As soon as that engagement happened, guess what? Robyn got moved up to Lehi, Utah. Janelle, having the largest section of the house, offered for Robyn and her kids to share the quarters with her until they eventually figure out another living situation. Robyn says no. She blames it on it being improper for her to be in that house, being that she wasn't married. Oh, well, were you expecting Cody to be sleeping with you at night? Because that would be improper too. That's not supposed to happen before you're married. Oh, wait, you got pregnant before you were married. Okay, I'm seeing. Shouldn't have been a problem. This is a great way for the kids to get to know all the other kids. It's a great way for her to get close with the other sister wives. And it's a great way for her to see Cody more often. But no, she needed her own house. And Cody actually stayed at that house. She got days and nights, just like the other wives, even though she wasn't married. Oh, so much of this is so wrong. So now we have somebody who quit her job.
I'm never gonna find another part-time job.
The family who is struggling to make ends meet is now paying for her home, her food, and all the needs for her kids. But that little period of time, which was, I don't know, 2 years maximum, maybe less, Robyn makes it seem like she spent her life working and taking care of bills.
I've always known what was going on with the finances in my life. And when I was on my own, I worked, I took care of my own money, I paid my own bills. I mean, like, it was just me. So coming into the family and not working, it was like this huge transition.
I don't know what bills. I don't even know if her stepdaddy charged her a penny to stay in that beautiful home. I took care of my own money. I paid my own bills. It was just me. Was it? What was your rent? She's trying to play the position of the poor single mom who had to raise 3 kids. No, few months. Okay, maybe up to a couple of years. That's it. Whole rest of her life she was taken care of, and then from that point on she was taken care of. Robyn the victim.
It was like this huge transition of going, Cody, I need to pay a bill. You know, do I just put the bill on the counter? How do you want to work this? So it was like a really big transition for me.
So coming into the family and not working was a huge transition for me. I didn't know how to behave when everybody paid for me. It was so weird.
I mean, we were struggling to keep the roof over our own heads, and we were going to bring this person in and pay rent and groceries, and there was going to be no income coming in. I was worried.
At the same time, Robyn coming in, months before we got married, she says, I can't come in and be a burden to your family.
But Cody comes to her defense. At the same time, months before she came, she said, I don't want to be a burden. Oh, okay, that makes it all okay. She just says, I don't want to be a burden to your family. Isn't she amazing? If you really didn't want to be a burden, yeah, what? I got a job. Janelle is a nuts and bolts numbers person.
There's days I'll have, you know, Janelle's kids over and she's come over and picked them up and stuff. And it's like, I'm just in my mind just going, please help her to see what value I am to this family, you know.
But Robyn watches Janelle's kids every now and then. They'll come over to her place after school for a little bit. So I hope she sees the value. The value doesn't even cover one of you. What are you talking about? Oh, Janelle doesn't see the value. I guarantee it. Now, Christine probably sees a little value in it. Now she can leave some of the kids at home when she goes grocery shopping.
The way that I bring money into the family is because I save the family money. By really watching what I shop, by buying in bulk, by canning. That's how I can help out financially with the family.
That makes sense to me. I am shopping sales. I am buying in bulk. I am collaborating with Janelle. What does Robyn do? After school, she watches the other kids a little bit until the other moms get them to make their dinner. She's not cooking dinner for them. I mean, she doesn't even really want them to have a snack. But then again, Mary's still just working part-time too. She could be watching the kids. So I don't know if there's really a designated true value there. I would say initially her value was that she kept Cody happy. I just feel like over time, Cody's happiness in all the different homes waned, and he got to the point that he became resentful and didn't like going to the other houses. He wanted to just be at the one. So what little value she provided at the beginning became a detriment over time. Robyn does like things. She likes things. There's a clip, I don't think I have it, and I'm not sure which season it was in, so it'll be too hard for me to find, but there is a clip once when the wives were talking about the value of just having a wife there to help each other out. And Robyn's contributing part was, I will buy stuff for the other wives to let them know that I'm thinking of them. And then she went on to say, trinkets. Yay, trinkets.
Thank you.
What everybody wants is more of your trinkets. Speaking of trinkets and collections, let's take a look at some stuff that Robyn has.
Look at our little fairy wonderland for Christmas. My woman, she really likes her decorations. Angels, 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 Jesus, gingerbread houses.
Why does Robyn have to spend so much money on so much junk and so much collections?
She really likes her decorations.
Okay. She likes it. She wants it. She gets it. Okay. And the Dickens Christmas houses, which she tries to imply is Cody's, but really when you listen to the verbiage, she said it's her collection. But she got it because Cody likes the story.
I started collecting the Dickens Christmas Village because Cody really likes A Christmas Carol, written by Charles Dickens.
Cody probably likes the movie. He probably never read the book. Okay, that was mean. That was mean. Let's move on. Speaking of Christmas, in a previous season, we have the wives talking about what they want to contribute to the family for Christmas. Now, mind you, there was no Christmas before Robyn. Robyn brought Christmas back to the family. It was a very scaled down family time, spend time together, do things together kind of holiday. I don't want to say they completely said there is no Christmas, but I think there were like no decorations, and the present giving was practical in that Mary every year made a new set of pajamas for all the kids. Something all the kids need anyway, something that's saving the family money, and something they can open. Practical, saves the family money, makes sense.
Well, every year for Christmas, I make the kids all pajamas and give to them on Christmas Eve. When the kids were really little, I think Mariah was probably 2, I decided I wanted to make them pajamas that year for Christmas. And the tradition has just stuck.
Let's see Christine and Janelle's contributions.
I have a traditional Christmas breakfast that I do, but really for me it's just about hanging out with the family. I have brought into the family the tradition of St. Lucia's Day, where the oldest girls of the family make breakfast.
Do you think Robyn's gonna cook something for everybody? Let's see.
I really wanted to bring something to the table as far as Christmas was concerned. I love ornaments, and so I was trying to figure out a way to give an ornament to the kids every year. So I thought, you know, if I made it, then I could afford it, and then it's a little bit more personal too.
Yeah, more to add to my collection.
Thanks. She's giving him a useless ornament. And why is she doing it? So that down the road they think of her. She wants it to be every year she gives them another ornament so that when they look at the tree, they'll think of her and how much she loved them. I mean, you couldn't script it. Food or clothing? No. A gift. So, Robyn.
I get money, I spend money.
Most recently, we saw that McKelty, Isabel, and Truly went over to Cody and Robyn's house for Christmas and spent the night there. About a week after Christmas time when they were in town. Now, Cody and Robyn were going to give them each a Christmas gift because they didn't see him at Christmas time. Makes sense. But wait, Robyn didn't want them to be the only ones opening gifts. So she went and bought a whole slew of gifts for her own kids too. Again, after this Christmas.
So we got scooters and we got helmets for. I used to call them mini bikes when I was little. Okay, so you have to wear goggles and helmets, probably gloves. Those are right next to you.
Yeah, after that, they're getting more gifts because she didn't want them to have to sit there and watch these girls open a present by themselves. Have we not taught our kids to be grateful for other people? Can our kids not watch somebody else open a present without having a temper tantrum themselves? Why do they have to have more gifts? Unbelievable.
Okay. Oh, Ariella, are you putting on makeup? Whose makeup kit do you have?
It's mine. I didn't want Isabel and Truly and McKelty to be the only ones opening gifts. And so I saved some of my own kids' gifts. Wanted it to feel like Christmas.
So Christmas, that wasn't all the gifts. I mean, I think that's a lie. I think she just went and bought a whole bunch more stuff for her kids. Either way, more stuff. Whether she had to go buy more because she didn't want her kids to not be able to open something when the other three girls were opening a gift, or that crazy overdone Christmas had additional gifts that were put aside. I mean, pick your poison. Which is worse?
Cody and I are different in the way that we look at money. He talks a lot about saving money and not spending money and stuff like that. And I think saving's good, but I also think that quality of living is important.
So let's hear this again. I'm fascinated.
He talks a lot about saving money and not spending money and stuff like that. And
He talks a lot about saving money and not spending money. The concepts I don't understand.
And I think saving's good. But I also think that quality of living is important.
Quality of living. More presents, more gifts, more things equals quality of living. That's a first. That's a first. Are you kidding me?
She did not just say that.
Maybe Robyn doesn't know she's supposed to be financially contributing to the family. That's a possibility, right?
In our culture, it's sort of encouraged for wives to go be able to be as independent as they can be because there's so much demand on family resources.
Oh, she did know.
The advantage to us is we don't really have to pay for babysitter. We have the built-in ones right here.
Not yet. But after Solomon was born, Robyn did not rely on her sister wives to help watch her kids. She said because Cody had to divide his time amongst the other wives, she had to get a babysitter.
Cody and I have a lot going on during the day. That's why I have a nanny, so that I can have her help me instead of trying to ask Cody to, help with the kids. It's not really fair of me to ask him to help when he has so many responsibilities and has such a big family.
That's what all the wives had to do this whole time, is divide the time. Cody was never there. They did it. Well, who's paying for the babysitter? Oh, Robyn still doesn't have a job. She's looking for this job for a year. Nothing. Then they decide to move down to Vegas. They move into the rentals. Now the family is paying for rentals for everybody. And what happens within the first 30 days of being down there? Robyn got pregnant. If you count back from Solomon's birthday, 10 months, you get the end of January, right after they moved into the rentals. Do you think she thought, if I have a kid and a small child, they can't make me go to work because I'll have a baby at home? Christine got to quit her job when Truly was born. I just have to have a baby. I'll have one too. Well, that's what she did. But guess what? You're pregnant for 10 months. No job. But I hope the family sees how I'm contributing. Well, there was our little walk down memory lane with Robyn and her spending habits. This is just a little sampling, a little taste of why everyone gets so incensed by the fact that she is sitting in a $1.8 million home and has an equal portion of Coyote Pass to Janelle and more of Coyote Pass than Mary. And she's married to Cody, whose name is on every parcel. He owns half of everything. By default, really half of everything is hers as well. It's maddening. Strutting around in designer clothes, wearing gaudy, expensive, ugly jewelry, while Janelle has given all her money to her to buy the house and is living in a college rental apartment. Just saying. I am praying this season of Sister Wives, we talk financials. Oh, killer ratings. I don't think it's going to happen. In my dreams. But it would be amazing. That's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this little walk down memory lane of Robyn, her spending habits, and her contributions to the family. See you all next time. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.